Hello, welcome to the Midnight Tonight Show. Tonight we have Lynne Chwyl on from the band Echo Creek and Emily Moore and Rocky from Purple City. Enjoy the show. Hello, welcome to the Midnight Tonight Show. Today, I have Lynne Chwyl on our show, and you are just fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, so are you.
Well, no, we're not here to talk about me ever.
Come on, we've already had a little chat. You're pretty awesome.
Oh, well, thank you. So, I had to, you're the first person, I've told you this already, but you're the first person that's on the show that, isn't one of my, near and dear friends. So, I actually had to do some researching on you. Yes, soon. We'll be very well acquainted. But I learned that you grew up near Ardrossan.
I did.
How was that? How was growing up as a farm girl?
I maintain that every child should grow up on a farm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was awesome.
Like potato-grown children, hey?
Yeah, it was fun.
I mean, there's a lot of crucial skills that kids can learn.
I grew up with 2 brothers and 6 or 7 boy cousins and 1 girl cousin. So being the only girl, besides her, I can say I have a lot of scars.
Oh, yeah.
You got those hard life
lessons, yeah.
I can tell you where they all happened, too. This was barbed wire. This was a cow horn.
Yeah, just trying to keep up with the boys.
But, yeah, it was fun, though.
Or half the time the boys are probably trying to keep up with you, right?
No, me keeping up with the boys. Me running from the boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they tormented me. They were mean.
Oh, well, farm boys.
Yeah, to this day I have a gross fear of mice because they would take the bales and catch all the little baby mice, put them in a pail, and then chase me with the mice and throw them at me.
Oh, classical conditioning.
Yeah. So if I see a mice in here tonight, a mouse, they'll hear me in Leduc.
Oh, wow. Well, we did clean of all the mice. Yeah.
Okay,
they're done.
Good,
yeah.
Good.
So in Ardrossan, you had some very early whispers of musical beginnings. I went through all your old records in the FBI files and learned that you had accordion lessons.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that? How was
Well, it was kind of a secret till just now, but
oh, really?
No, I'm kidding. No, I did. I had accordion lessons. It was pretty cool.
So is your family Ukrainian?
No, but my ex-husband's family was.
Oh, okay.
The Chwyl brothers. Well, people often say, "Are you related to the Chwyl brothers?" And I used to be by marriage, and now I am no longer
disassociated. Just kept the last name.
Yeah.
So accordion lessons didn't go very well. What about your opera singing lessons that I also found out about?
Wow, you did do your research.
I fucking nardward this shit.
Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah.
So the opera, God rest her soul, was probably one of the most influential people in my career, if you want to call it that.
She was.
Yes. At an early age, I think 10. And I only went for 6 months, but she taught me breath control and using your diaphragm and all that kind of stuff.
How old were you when you learned that?
About 10.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you said that.
So
that's a really young age to learn. I've never even learned about that until way later, and I still don't do it.
She made it fun, though. She lit a candle and held it in front of my mouth, just about this far away.
Okay.
And had me sing Frere Jacques 3 times through in one breath and not blow out the candle.
That's military training.
Yeah. She was.
That's really weird.
Yeah, she was harsh.
Frere Jacques?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I don't think I know all the words.
I can't remember if I ever got through all
just keep
3 times.
Frere Jacques over and over.
But it sure did strengthen all the breathing muscles. So that was fun.
So then the childhood kind of, you had, I said, these whispers of musical beginnings, but nothing really kind of came, and you then became a family mom. You just you focused on your family. You got married, you had twins, then you had a couple more kids.
Mm-hmm. I have 4.
4 kids, yeah. And then what happened that got you in, after everything that happened there, what happened that got you into music?
Well, I dabbled in it a bit when I was in my early 20s.
We all do.
That had to be shelved because I got pregnant with twins.
Okay.
And then it was 25 years before I got back into it. I call myself a closet singer in that phase, because I would sing in my car when nobody was around, out on the highway, just wailing at the top of my lungs. And I would rehearse the highest note I could hit for the longest time possible before I ran out of breath. And that's what I did in my spare time, hop in my car and go for drives and keep the muscles all in shape, I guess.
Wow.
And then I got divorced. So when I was married, my husband didn't like me performing. God rest his soul. And so when I got divorced and he had the kids for a week at a time, for that week, I had no identity. I wasn't a wife anymore. I wasn't a mother for that week. I was kind of lost.
You're just kind of left holding the bag of like, now I need to fill this with something else. Like I was a mother, I was a wife for so long, and I had so many roles and responsibilities. Now you got this whole week where you need to discover yourself. And then what happened?
Well,
Someone opened the closet.
Well, I was just to kill time. I walked across the street. There was a mall across the street from where I lived, and there was a karaoke contest going on.
Okay.
And I had dabbled in my early 20s, so I don't know what to this day possessed me to do this, but I signed up for this contest.
This is like the plot line of an 80s movie. Like this is like A Star Is Born kind of thing, right? Anyways, continue.
So I joined this contest. I almost chipped a tooth. I was so nervous, and I had these dress pants on, and they were just fluttering because my knees were shaking. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I drew a crowd in the mall, and I didn't win. I didn't place. I didn't do anything. I just scooted off the stage as fast as I could. And when it was all over, the host came up to me afterwards and he said, you didn't win. I don't want you to be hard on yourself, but you've got something. And did you see that crowd? Like you drew a crowd. If you want to, develop that, come follow me around to my karaoke shows and I'll tutor you. I thought, ooh, I'm going to be a professional karaoke person.
Surprisingly, it happens. Like I've never really like dabbled too much in the karaoke scene, but I've just recently went out to Franco's on like Victoria Trail, and the karaoke they're doing there is next level, man. Like you guys aren't karaoke singers. You're all like professionals. Get the fuck out of this bar and just let me sing Love Shack. Like get the fuck out.
Love Shack, so classic.
Anyways.
Well, there's some phenomenal talent doing. I don't like to call them karaoke contests. They're vocal contests to backtracks, is what it is.
Yeah.
And there's some really fierce talent out there. But I followed him around, and he showed me how to use the mic and pull back when you're wailing and all that kind of stuff, and how to work the crowd. And I will tell you this, in those contests, because I joined quite a few of them, in those contests, it's really difficult because you have nothing on stage with you. There's no band for people to be distracted.
You're very much like isolated out there. Yeah, it's terrifying.
I like to say that you're talent naked up there. But he taught me how to work the stage and
this karaoke
work the
Mr.
crowd.
Miyagi,
Right, yeah, karaoke Mr. Miyagi, I love it. I still remember his name, Clark. Clark, if you're out there, hi. Thanks, dude.
This one guy on the east side of Edmonton, like, that's her!
So from there, the first contest I joined after that, it was about 6 months later. I was too scared. But the first contest I joined after that, I won. And I won like $1,000.
Fuck yeah.
For a 3.5-minute song. So I was like, whoa, hang on a minute here.
Like, I've got a new price tag.
No, there's something to this stuff.
That's great.
So from there, I did that for quite a while. And that took me to some fun places. Big Valley, Pinoca Rodeo,
We're going to get into like a lot of those places because you are just skipping my questions now. That's great though. One of those places, tell us about Memphis on January 29th. What happened at Memphis? Tell us how you got to Memphis.
Okay, well, we're
How'd you get to Memphis?
Fast forwarding about 10 or 15 years or so.
Or do you want to start we should start at the Beaumont Blues Festival. That's the
we'll start there.
Yeah.
I live in Beaumont. So the very first year the festival was birthed, I volunteered in the musicians' tent to host in the musicians' tent. Originally, it was the Beaumont Blues Festival. And so that first year when I was volunteering in the music tent, I could hear all this music out on the stage, and it caught me. I was like, man, that was good. Every time another group went up, I was like, geez. I finally got so kind of enthralled with it that I abandoned my post in the tent and just kind of stood outside watching all the bands on the stage.
You're like, what is this?
And that's exactly what I said. There was
Like,
someone in the tent at the
blues.
time.
It's the blues.
Lonnie Hansen was part of the Edmonton Blues Society at the time. And he was in the tent, and I think it was Lonnie. Might have been Hank Lionheart. Anyway, I said, they came in, when I went back in the tent, I said, what kind of music is this? Because, and I had to ask, because I grew up with my grandmother on that farm, and we didn't have any music in the house.
What?
She didn't play the radio unless we were in the truck driving to town.
She's like, you can listen to the birds and the wind.
Well, she was born in 1913, so there's a bit of a generation gap.
They still had music then, but I hear you.
My grandfather was born in 1886. Not my great-grandfather, my grandfather.
Christ.
I know, right? And
they're the ones who saw bread get sliced.
yes.
And they're like, this is crazy. This is amazing. This is going to change the
No
world.
TVs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So she would sing Irish folk songs all the time.
Oh, okay.
And that was basically the music that I knew.
So some music, but just,
And then I went to school, and then I would, Billion
Sing all
Dollar
those-
Babies, Alice Cooper, that was my first album.
oh, nice.
So I caught on to the classic 70s rock and stuff at the time, or country. But I'd never heard this music I was hearing. And somebody said, well, it's the blues, you're at a blues festival. I was like, whoa, I love this stuff. So one of the guys there was a jam host, and he said, come on out to my jam. If you love this, come on out to the jam, sing a little. Do you sing? And I said, yeah, a little. He goes, yeah, come on out to the jam. Mark Amar, hi, Mark. And we...
Oh, Mark Amar. Yeah. From LB's.
Yes.
He did tons of stuff there. Yeah.
That was where the jam was.
nice.
So I showed up at this jam, and they said, what song do you want to sing? And I told them, what key? And I was like, oh, crap.
Car keys.
I've only ever had backtracks, and I didn't have to know the key. You hit play.
Yeah.
So I finally, after the very first jam I went to, I did the old, well, just play and I'll tell you if that's too high or too low.
Nice.
So amateur. And I did learn, you had to learn your key. And it took me probably another year to quit turning around and telling the drummer what key.
That's great. I still tell my drummer what key.
Do you?
Yeah, he doesn't know.
And they'd look at me and go, yeah, cool. So from there, going to jams and whatnot, I got involved in blues bands. And there's a band called Red House, Lonnie Hansen's band, and they would get me up to guest 2 or 3 songs every time.
Nice.
I'd follow them around, and he'd get me up. And
That's huge. That's
yeah,
huge.
it was.
That's
It was
like
a
that's
big
like
leg up.
musician coaching.
Yes.
Like for him to be like, okay, come to this gig and you're gonna come up and sing 3 songs. So then you don't have to commit to I need to go up there and I need to know a whole like with blues bands, a lot of times they have to play 3 times a day, so depending on what their gig is. But that's a lot of music to do, right?
Yeah. So it was a big leg up. And then from there, I just got involved in various bands, and eventually formed my own band. And that band, we entered the Edmonton Blues Society.
Your band, it was called the Lynne Chwyl Band.
Yes.
And this is the band that you were going into with the Edmonton Blues Challenge.
Yes, the Edmonton Blues Society, Memphis Blues. I think they called it the Memphis Blues Challenge or something.
Okay.
And what it is local bands compete. And there's usually 2 or 3 rounds. And the winning band represents Red Deer North, Northern Alberta.
Okay.
In Memphis at the International Blues Challenge. So 250 bands or so from around the world who have all won their local converge on Beale Street for a week and compete. And
Jesus.
yeah, it's
Just beat the shit out of each other or what?
you know what? Win or lose, I'm determined to go back there, not as a competitor, just so I can sit and drink and not have to worry about the time or be nervous
It'd be
about
a good
competing,
time.
because the music was off the charts, unbelievable.
Wow.
We walked in the door, my band and I, we walked in the door, and we all kind of just stopped because there was a band playing. And we kind of just stopped and looked at each other like, oh, crap.
So
Oh, boy, we're not in Kansas anymore, kids.
speaking of that, how long did it take you to go from karaoke at the mall to the Memphis Blues Festival?
From 2003 to 2019.
Still, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
good on you, man.
I was pushing 50 when I went to the mall that day.
Yeah.
Well, I was in my late 40s.
Wow.
And
so that's when you picked it up in your late 40s.
Yep.
Jesus. And by the time you got to Memphis, like that's awesome. That is just
Isn't there a song?
so
By
commendable.
the time I got to Memphis.
There definitely is, yeah. If there isn't, you should sing one.
So we competed there. We didn't place. We did really well for our first time. We didn't place. No band from Canada did that year, and that was
the States. They're just fucking biased. Canada knows what real blues is. You don't know the blues till you've had to shovel a driveway.
Actually, there was quite a number of people from Canada that had won it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
But the prizes are phenomenal. Like you get to go on the legendary Rhythm and Blues cruise.
Oh, cool.
You get all the big festivals down in the States. You get some recording money and contract, I think. And,
nice.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Yeah.
So, I mean, that was pretty cool. And we got back. So we won our local in October. Did some fundraising and rehearsing and everything. It's really strict, that contest.
Okay.
You are timed down to the second. If you're a second over, you're disqualified.
Yeah, it seems like something to be obsessed about, but yeah.
So we got back. So we won our local in October. We got down to Memphis for the last week of January. And we got home the first week of February. And at the end of February, they closed the borders for COVID.
Oh, wow. So you just got in by the skin of your neck.
We did, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that just kind of shut everything down. I mean,
it was a tough time for musicians, for everything.
All the musicians in my band picked up, podcasts and things like that.
Yeah.
And
what a lame
found
profession.
other projects. Yeah. And I, as the vocalist, just kind of took a back seat and sat on my haunches for a couple of years. And,
Went back to closet singing.
And then I did an about face when I came out of the closet again.
About face? Mm-hmm. What do you mean?
Well, when I was doing karaoke, it was mostly, let me rephrase that. When I was doing vocal competitions, I was doing mostly country, all country, and some show tunes. When I picked it up again after COVID, it was a country band.
Oh, so you changed Lynne.
So I went back to my first love, yeah. You never forget your first love.
With show tunes, what do you sing, like cabaret or?
Things like When You're Good to Mama.
Oh, I'm thinking like two ladies.
No,
it's a good one. You should learn it.
Hello Dolly and stuff like that.
So you also played the Winter Blues Festival. That was after
2 weeks after we got back?
Okay, so COVID hadn't shut that down yet.
No,
that was probably like right close to that.
Yeah.
Well,
they closed the borders, but they hadn't really put all the big restrictions on yet. So.
Yeah, I had a show the day of restrictions.
Oh,
and I remember like the bar owner was like, there was people like, you should close down, and he had to like run out and buy hand sanitizer and shit to like
I know. It was horrible.
Adhere to like a bunch of restrictions that just came out like 3 hours before. It was St. Patrick's Day, like 2020. It was fun. But tell me about wait a second. Tell me about Balleluia. Jesus, that is hard to say. Balleluia.
Balleluia. That was a sort of a kind of a documentary, but what it was the Alberta Ballet choreographed an entire television production for CBC to the music of Katie Lang.
Okay.
And then throughout this dance documentary, whatever you call it, they did little snippets of interviews with Katie Lang.
Okay.
And I was scouted off Facebook for that.
Oh,
in a way, to be in that production.
What was your role?
I was the lounge singer.
Oh.
At the Legion.
Okay.
Yeah, Katie Lang. And I had to sing Big Bone Gal from Southern Alberta. And it was so appropriate. Because I am the Big Bone Gal from Central Alberta.
Hey, man, it's good to be Big Bone.
So it was a lip syncing role.
Oh, you were just so offended. You're like, I'm not going to do this.
What happened was I had a number of bands I was with up into the Memphis part. And one of them was in Calgary. So I'd go down to Calgary all the time. And I'd hit jams when I was in Calgary. And one of the guys down there was friends with the casting director. And she said, I'm looking for a singer that looks like Loretta Lynn. And at the time, my hair was just still dark.
Okay, yeah.
Artificially, but whatever.
Yeah.
And he said, I know somebody, she showed him a picture. And he said, I know somebody that looks like that. And she's a singer. And
wow. So that's how you got it.
Nice. So I got this message on Messenger. It's like, hey, do you want to be in this production? I was like, what? And I knew the guy that had recommended me. So I was like, well, it must be legit.
Well, we got to check that out. We'll definitely check that out.
But I have to tell you something funny about that.
Oh, okay.
So I show up. My mom went with me. She wanted to see what this was all about, being in this big production. We drive down to Calgary, and they had told me, bring your own Western clothes or whatever, and bring your own footwear. So they didn't say what kind. You want Western footwear? Or like, so I packed.
Did you bring your Jordans?
And I had no suitcase or anything. Because this was before Memphis. So I took an empty kitty litter pail.
Okay.
And put all my shoes in there. Yeah.
Oh.
It was utilitarian.
Nice.
So I get down there, and all these beautiful young actresses are walking in with their Louis Vuitton polo-longs and their Christian Dior and their Chanel.
Yeah.
And then I walk in with my pail, kitty litter pail.
Your cat shit
of shoes.
Yeah.
Cat shit shoes. Oh, God. Just keeping it real, ladies. Keeping it real.
Like, welcome to Alberta, bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. So that was fun.
That's awesome. So we met at Rednecks, and when I met you, you were doing a fucking amazing job on stage. Like, it just blew me away with your awesome band, Echo Creek. Do you want to talk a little bit about Echo Creek?
We like to say Echo Crick.
Echo Creek. Echo Creek.
Those gentlemen, I have so much fun with.
Yeah.
This band is, for me, I took a step back from all that competition and you know, trying to be the best you can be and bring your A game. And I just wanted to go back to having fun.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, at the end of the day,
of course,
I just wanted to go back to having
music is.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like aiming for competition to be the best all the time. That's got to be just like fucking
Well,
screwball.
I mean, at my age, I mean, you know, you're not.
I mean, you keep saying your age, but it doesn't seem to be stopping you at any.
Well,
like,
no, that's true.
Yeah.
But realistically, if you want to get out of just being your local band
Yeah.
that won a contest and make a living out of it.
And I often think about that, like getting out of the local thing is a lot more than I think some people are prepared to understand what it takes. Like the touring and everything like that. Like I think Henry Rollins says it all when he says like, get in the van. And like how many people really want to get in that van and live in that van, live on the road, go and do that. Because it's not like you go from like, just being a local artist to being all of a sudden carted around in like a giant bus with like all these luxuries. There's a very long period of like, you're just going to bars, playing to barely anybody. You know, you're running into like bar owners that don't pay you and place not knowing where you're going to sleep that night. And of course, you know, if you don't
Weather.
oh God, crap weather, and you're stuck in a van. Like it's just, it's an awful stage to go through while you're attempting to get all those little footholds all across the country, man. And I don't think
exhausting.
people can, it's horrible. So, I mean, or you can stay local and just stay in your little cozy little bar and play every once in a while. I mean, but if that call to adventure calls you and you really want to go do that, then go do that. But
see, I love the road. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I want to do Fort Mac and, you know, Lethbridge and take me to all the little towns. I love all that stuff. As long as it's summer. I don't like the winter driving.
Yeah, well, it's Canada, so it's winter.
4.5 hours to Buck Lake one time in a blizzard.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Yeah, we got there and there was just us, the two people we brought, and the bartender. But we played.
So who's in your band now? Because I deep dived, and there's so many people that you've played with, but like Jet Bartlett, Percy Marshall, Greg Perry, Rooster Davis. Like who's in there now?
Yeah, those guys are top notch.
Yeah.
So are the guys I'm with now. The ones you just mentioned were in my blues band.
Oh, okay.
In Echo Creek.
Do you consider Echo Creek to be blues, or you're doing more rootsy?
No, we're country. We're traditional country, not so much contemporary.
So just Shania Twain all the time.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm just fucking, But anyways, who's in the band now?
We have Brent Hanna on lap steel.
I love him. By
He's
the way,
amazing.
Yeah, that lap
He's
steel.
amazing. He's also in the band Jaguar.
Yes, and I'm gonna get him on here. I'm already in contact with
Nice.
him. Yeah,
Nice.
and he makes his own lap steels. He makes guitars.
He makes the capos for him too,
Yeah.
which is really, well, I guess there aren't capos for lap steels, and he invented one for
That's
himself, and now he
crazy.
makes them and
Yeah.
sells them.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about.
I think that's right. Brent, forgive me if it's not.
Yeah, he'll
So
get
we
on
have-
here and he'll clarify.
We have Brent Hanna on lap steel. We call him Uncle Foo.
Okay.
And we have Steve Thorne on drums, the guy with the nice long hair. And the girls all go nuts for him.
Oh, good. You need one of those.
Yeah.
My drummer, same
We have-
thing.
we
All the
have-
girls go nuts.
We have Boy Candy on the drums. And Tom Greenwood Madsen on bass. And on, who am I forgetting? Our guitar player, Bruno
Okay.
Munker. We call him the Codfather.
The Codfather. Is he from
we
out
always,
east?
We always introduce him as the heavily subsidized deep sea fisherman in Saskatchewan, also known as the Codfather.
There's a lot. That's a big handle. That handle tells the whole story.
And myself.
So, when I step on stage, it's my alter ego or the person I want to be in real life. I'm a little more timid. I guess it's a place where you get to go and become someone. Those are words that you said. So tell us what stepping onto stage is like for you and how that transformed, how the stage Lynne transformed the Lynne that walks around every day. Because I know how transformative that can be.
It took a while, but I would have to sum it up in a couple of words: confidence building. So that transferred into my everyday life, like going to work or job interviews or things like that. Confidence building. Being on stage like that, having to continually talk and make sure there's no dead air and try to entertain the crowd in between songs, that kind of thing, connect. It just developed people skills.
Yes, it does. 100%.
Usually people say it's the other way around. They have people skills and become entertainers. For me, no. It was the entertainment that built the people skills.
Sometimes that vessel works the other way, right? It's you have a want to be an entertainer, and then through, like you said, the Lynne on stage taught the Lynne
Yes.
that walks around every day less life lessons. That's amazing.
And there
stuff.
was a level of maturity transformation too that took place, because as a new person in the music industry, there were a lot of ins and outs that I didn't know, and overstepped my boundaries sometimes, or
The social
hurt people's
mores.
feelings, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Got annoyed with things I shouldn't have because it was standard practice, but I didn't know.
It's the folk ways and mores of the music system.
So basically, I cut my teeth on stage.
Oh yeah, I remember the first time I was a roadie for a long time, and the first time I rolled up a chord the wrong way and got yelled at for that. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? You just roll up a chord. He's like, no, you got to twist it and turn it and make it. And I'm like, Jesus.
And you know what? Everybody has a different way of wanting how they want their chords rolled up. It's
No,
like-
there's one way. But
so
yeah.
now I stay away from the chord rolling. I pick them up when they're done and help load the truck.
You help load? You're
I'm
one of the good ones.
I haul the drums, everything I do.
Nice.
If there's a big drum sitting on the floor, it's got to go to the truck. I'll pick it up and carry it.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So as well as music, your love for blues is so big that you've also just been researching blues music. You've been discovering the history of blues. So in your journey, what have you found that's like sticks out that's interesting to you?
What really stunned me, and I didn't know this, is way back in the early part of the century, Black women who were in the blues were quite often houses of ill repute.
Oh yeah.
They what do you call them? Madams.
Okay.
Yeah, they that's how they entertained people who came to their
They would sing blues
their
as well.
establishment. Yeah. So that kind of shocked me. It's like, whoa, houses of ill repute. Yeah.
Dinner and a show.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that kind
is something interesting.
Yeah. And the other thing that I really like that I discovered, and a lot of people knew this, I didn't, was a lot of the slave songs were actually sung to instruct whoever was ever planning to escape on the route that they would take.
Oh, they were like coding it.
They were coding it, yeah.
That's awesome.
So one of the songs, Death Came Knockin', she bent low to buckle up her shoe and moved on down to the Jordan Stream, I think is the lyric or whatever.
Yeah.
And basically the hidden lyrics are like that, or like take the train track, make sure you wear shoes. You're going to take the river. Like
That's awesome.
It was all code.
That's really interesting to know.
I found it quite, first off, brilliant.
Yeah. And also just awful because
Yes.
I mean, you know the history of it. And it's just sad that all that shit happened in the States, but that
what it did
history is
was-
now embedded into culturally something that'll exist forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not a textbook that can get changed or anything like that. Those lyrics will be forever like that.
And what it also did was gave me a new respect for the genre. It's like you can't. I don't know how to put it. It just made me approach it differently. It's like, but you can't just stand up and sing this because the words are cool or you like the beat or whatever. It's like dig into that song and believe it and feel it as best you can as a privileged white person. You know
It gives
what I
you
mean?
the sacred purpose of like the type of music you're singing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it taught me like give it as much respect as you're able to give it.
And that's huge because I mean you hear blues everywhere all the time, and when you really dig into some of those authentic blues players like Leadbelly or Sondhaus or even like Howlin' Wolf, one of my favorites.
Oh, Howlin'.
Oh
I
God,
love him.
just like. There's so many like I can't
Or
do
Willie
this, I
Dixon.
can't do the Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff. I can't. It's just been down my throat. But you get into these Howlin' Wolf and like that early like Sondhaus, Leadbelly stuff, and like there's where you find that authentic musicianship that has
T-Bone
that.
Walker.
Oh, just so great stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, what are some words of inspiration that you would like to share for anybody that's wanting to start music, like at all? Because I mean, you had this huge lapse where it didn't really affect you, and now like music is such a big part of your life. So, what are you saying to anybody that like comes to you and says like, you know what, I'm thinking of singing?
You know, I've broken up with people who couldn't handle me being on stage. It's okay. Sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Number one.
Oh,
number
yeah,
two. What words of inspiration would I give them? It's taken me so many places and brought so much adventure to my life that I never saw coming. Who would have thought I'd
Yeah.
be singing on the Stax record stage in Memphis,
Yeah.
or being on a TV show,
Yeah.
or a friend of mine that I met at one of the shows in Calgary went on the legendary Rhythm and Blues cruise and met his second wife there.
Oh, geez. Yeah. There's so many things that happen.
And I got to go and sing on that cruise at their wedding. So there I am with all these headliners on the blues cruise,
Yeah.
singing at a wedding. And all because, like I said, I still don't know why I decided to join that contest, but I did. And I think the advice I would give is don't be afraid to take the next step.
That's huge. That's a
when
big one.
when it presents itself, grab it and run with it.
Well, Lynn, thank you so much for coming here.
My
You're such
pleasure.
an inspiration.
My pleasure.
I want some beauty tips before you leave. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Welcome back to the Midnight Tonight Show. I'm here with Rocky and Emily Moore from Purple City. Thanks so much for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is awesome. So you guys are part of the Purple City team. So maybe just explain what Purple City is for all the people out in the internet world.
Oh my God, did we do that at the same time? Okay.
You guys have been sleeping in the same car for a while, hey?
Pretty much. Purple City is a youth-focused music festival, music and arts festival. It's kind of has a longer history. Well, it was sort of grandfathered in from up in downtown. It used to be, but it's the nonprofit. It's run by Rain Shadows was passed over, and then Purple City started in 2022.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we just try to find the coolest. Is this not a PG thing?
Yeah, you can say fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
The coolest fucking bands
the coolest fucking bands around that are just maybe just about to pop. It's everything from dark wave to hardcore punk rock.
Nice.
A couple things in between. So
I'd say more than a couple for sure.
more than a couple, yeah. But
Like a blippy cover band or something.
Yeah, and there's
Nice.
3-hour noise set.
Oh God. I know a couple guys that I'll send your way.
What else? Yeah, it's all downtown, and there's a free block party. So,
Okay.
and our mascot Nurple, I'll just say, can't be here today.
Okay. Well,
Really
that's sad.
busy.
That's
Yeah,
sad. We
You know,
wanted Nurple to be here.
he's preparing for Valentine's Day.
I know he's feeling very lonely right now.
He was here earlier, but yeah, it'll be sad. It's sad that he couldn't come on stage. So how is Purple City different from other music festivals? You mentioned that there's a block party. So like explain that, like what's going on?
Yeah, how's it different? I think a lot of the genres are different. The focus of it, we're inspired by lots of other festivals, like psych festivals, like Desert Days, and then like punk stuff and hardcore stuff. But I think I played it in 2022, and I had so much fun. I was like, what is this? This is like, most of the headliners were female, queer, BIPOC led in like hard music and all this stuff. It just felt so good. Like just new sounds I hadn't heard, wicked energy, like just good vibes from all the audience, from everyone. Not one bad vibe in town.
It felt like super cutting edge as far as
it
music
felt
and Edmonton
fresh
goes.
and like fun and not, I don't know. It was just awesome. And I liked everything. So I was like, whatever this is, I want it.
You got me hyped. I'm like, I'm coming now. Yeah.
You gotta come.
Freaking blast. And the block party so it started off kind of all over the city. We had like 22 venues that year, Horlock Park. And then we just kind of like, what is this? What are we doing? So we honed it all downtown. We wanted it to be accessible, moved everything into 2-block radius. And we're like, well, we need to open it up. So the block party is a free thing that happens right in front of the Starlight over the weekend.
Past years, it was 22 venues all across Edmonton that you were doing all these concerts at that were considered the festival.
Yeah, and its first real year.
Okay, so for like one price, a festival goer gets access to all of these different venues.
If you buy a wristband, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's awesome. And then you're saying at the end of the festival, there's a big block party within a small radius. Or are you saying that you've changed the festival and now all of the venues are closer together?
No, there's 9 venues, and one of them is a free block party during the daytime between like around 1 or 2 p.m.
Oh, dope.
And 7 or 8 before the night shows start and the
day
other
drunk.
venues.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Last year we had we have some cool programming. We had Love Wrestling come.
Okay.
So a band would play on the main stage, and then while the transition was happening,
Just wrestling in the street.
a wrestling
That's the best
ring on the
place to
other
wrestle.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
freaking
they had
awesome.
like a ring. It wasn't like bum fights or something.
I saw that once
Yeah.
in Winnipeg. There was we were down there for Canada Day. This is back in my roadie days, and there was like a lot of wrestling going on.
I want to do it so bad.
Do it.
Well, after watching, I've just had too many concussions.
Oh yeah, maybe
But
not the best one.
they're so good.
So, what are you guys basically doing to like pump out and promote this huge thing? Like it's been around for a while, you said, but now you've kind of taken a new voice and it's only been around for the 2 years. Yeah, and like, what are you guys doing as promotional for it? Do you think you guys have enough going on to get people really hyped about this?
I think so. I do a lot of the social media and marketing. We're here.
There you are. Yeah, you're doing this.
We're doing this.
Putting you on the spot, Ems.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is word of mouth, especially I would say between the bands, because one of our thing is we want to make sure they have a really good time and tell all their friends. And like last year I had never been to it before until I worked last year, and it was like kind of the same like thought you had. It was like, what is this? I want to be a part of it.
And that is what makes a festival, because like everything I heard about Sled Island wasn't from anybody who went to Sled Island. It was all through musicians who played Sled Island. And they're like, this was amazing. It was one of the first multi-venue festivals that I heard of, where they just held a festival in a city. Like what? So that's amazing. Like that is the best word of mouth. You're right. 100%. You're supporting that local,
Yeah, and we have like a good like 60% of the bands, like submission bands, like from all over. They're local. Like we really, really try to put local bands on exciting lineups. And then it was crazy. Like our first year, 2023 was our first year really downtown. And then our submissions like doubled last year.
Oh, geez.
So we had like bands from Austin, from Puerto Rico, from so we kind of, and throughout the year we're like networking, we're building relationships. So we're going to other people's festivals, talking to bands, talking to other people, it's all collaboration too.
That is huge, because that's what builds into like a hub and makes a real big scene. So if people want to come here from Puerto Rico, or they want to come here from Austin, Texas to hear what's going on here, that's huge.
There's an Austin Edmonton thing we're making right now.
Nice.
It's
Like,
pretty awesome.
We're like buds now.
Yeah.
I feel good about it.
Which
That's
is right,
good.
like, because
That's really good.
Houston's the Calgary and Austin's like the Edmonton.
Yeah.
That's what they say down there.
No, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like Houston's like fancy buildings, oil, and Austin's like party, pubs, bars, music.
Which one are we?
We're party, pubs, and theater.
Oh, okay. We have a very different experience of Edmonton. That's okay.
I wasn't even supposed to be here, but here I still am.
You're doing a great job.
I mean, in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant here tonight.
No, I definitely want to be here.
So is your band playing? What's it called? Peg Piss? Piss Peg? Piss Pegger?
Midnight Peg.
Midnight Peg. I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Late night cribbage, colonoscopy prep, or
I got one of those coming up right now.
banging. I don't know, whatever you think.
You ever drank one of those 2-gallon things? It is hell.
I have Crohn's disease. I had
Okay.
to do like 5 or 6 in a year.
What's your favorite flavor?
0.
They make a 0 flavor? Or you just don't have a
I think
favorite?
I just get berries. The secret is soup, mint, freaking just suck on other things while you're chugging that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I just sit on the toilet and I straight up just chug the fucking fruit punch one.
I can't. Oh.
We've
Anyway,
just-
that's not why.
We're not here
Midnight
talking
Peg.
about colonoscopy prep anymore.
Yeah, our band's like, so Ryan Rathjen's the executive director, like, so half of us are musicians, and so our bands play it.
Yeah.
I have 2. I
Ryan
alternate between
Rathen
the
now
2.
in the CGSR,
Yes.
the CGSR family.
DJ
Yeah.
Acid Wash.
With his new radio show, Phased Out.
It's been
Yeah, it's
around
been going for a while.
yeah, it's like 7 years old.
I just
Yeah.
started listening to it. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
So
Welcome
we'll see.
to the scene, Landon.
Yeah.
We're just trying to negotiate. We try to, but where it's all volunteer led, like the whole year. Everyone's like, we're working for free on it all year.
That's awesome, because it's all illicit through passion then. Everybody who wants to do it is
It's
just passionate. about it.
100%
Yeah.
passion. Yeah.
And that's what'll make it such a fucking rad party, because you've been working towards it. You're not some like hired goon who's like, oh, I guess I got to be here. Like that volunteer work, people are there because they want to
Yeah.
be,
100%.
So what bands have confirmed? Are you allowed to like release this yet?
No.
Oh, what
but we can tell you.
Breaking news. Give me one band.
No.
Come on.
Because you'll need to come. Well, we
And
haven't
see it for
really.
yourself.
Yeah, we're gonna have. There'll
Wait,
be
is the whole thing's a mystery?
Yeah.
Well, for right now.
Oh,
for right now.
Okay.
Submissions are not closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Submissions are
They close March 2nd.
You guys
at
got-
midnight.
2 and a bit weeks.
Yes.
Okay.
We want to
Submit
listen.
now.
But there will be this year. We're gonna do something fun to announce the first wave lineup. So
Okay.
keep your ears peeled, eyes, whatever
Nice.
you sense with, and there's gonna be a really fun thing.
A fun thing.
A fun
Yeah,
thing.
we got to keep the mystery.
Is it a midnight peg?
No, Midnight Peg. I mean,
It might
maybe
be.
metaphorically.
A metaphorical midnight peg. I like it. So how are you allowed to tell us the venues that it's in?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
What venues are
We got Starlight Room,
Nice.
Temple, Downtown Edmonton Community League, 3 floors of the Freemasons Hall downtown, McDougall United Church, and last year we just did the Y after hours, which
Okay.
was super duper cool.
Yeah, the 2
Because-
floors.
I have not
I
been in
don't
there
think-
since I was 14. So
Yeah, and I think I saw my first ever mosh pit at the Y.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
wow.
Great.
It was awesome.
that is really cool.
Not first ever in time, but in that building.
Yeah.
And then and the block party stage. And last year we
Did I forget
piloted, well, block party, but I already talked about it.
Yeah.
But last year we piloted kind of sort of panels and workshops and stuff. So this year we're going to expand that. So there's a whole we're trying to build into more of a music conference as well. And that's going to be all free.
So what do you have for panels? Like, explain to me if I didn't know what a panel is, because I definitely know what a panel is. What is a panel? Like, what do? You have like chairs? Is it this? Is this a panel?
Nah, I mean, this could be, but we do have lovely people working the camera and in the studio here, but they're not asking us questions. Only you are.
Wow.
So that's one kind of panel.
Okay.
Ours is like, some can be interactive. So last year we had a mock jury grant workshop.
Okay.
Where people submitted their rejected grant applications and grant jury experts came on and reviewed them and showed how does it work behind the scenes.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. That was
Wow.
led by Jin Ting from Shiku Audio, and it was so cool. It was so helpful.
Yeah, that is like, if you're gonna do something for a musician, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
'Cause
had
grant applications are fucking like
Insane.
racking your brain on that shit. Like, you have to. There's people who make a living off of being like knowing how to do the applications, and you hire them.
Absolutely. And it's just so important because like you don't make any money in music until you're like none of us.
Yeah.
No one makes any money. You
Yeah,
know,
it's-
our festival survives on grants and funding and that kind of stuff. So for us too, it's just what you have to do. We had a media panel with photographers, radio. Like how should you chat with people that you want to share your art with? And then we had so that was cool. And then we had we partnered with Women in Music Canada and held a networking industry event, like
Wow.
just a mixer with a DJ. So it's just like it's awesome. You just get to meet people, talk to people, learn some stuff, but really beyond the learning, I think it's about just making new connections that can like help each other with stuff.
And that's huge.
with
If you're
your-
drawing
what you
all
wanna
these
do.
musicians together for this festival, and then you have people that are like in those type of industries, you're just like putting the peanut butter with the jelly right there. Like, you're
100%.
making that sandwich. And that's very important to get those people in the same room, because it's like, you people need to meet these people. And that's a hard thing to do if you're just a musician out there just in the wilderness trying to figure out where to go and what to do. It's right here. You need to go to Purple City and you need to go to these mixers and meet these people.
Well,
you know?
and I'll say beyond that, it's just
And you
There's-
make friends there.
you make friends.
Yeah.
Like
You make
lifelong
friends.
friends.
I make enemies. No, I won't make any enemies, but yeah.
I know like 2 people that hate you.
Really?
That's like not that much.
I know who you're talking about.
I know. We were both there.
Yeah, yeah. So what else do people need to know about submissions? What do we got to tell these people to ensure that they get their what are you looking for as far as genre goes? What do they need to put together for a package? How do they submit? These are a lot of questions coming really quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too much. It's send us a track, your links. Look at the lineup from before. Like I said, it's we're always anything interesting, like from dark wave, punk rock, hardcore, folk, experimental. We had a noise showcase last year too. Just
Where do they send it to?
You can go to the website.
Perfect.
And is it
purplecity.fest.com.
.com? Yeah.
Nice.
Purple City.
I don't know what the button
Yeah.
says, but you'll find it. It's easy.
It's on the
And they'll be able to
homepage.
submit
You've been
all
on the
year. If they
internet
miss
before.
this year, they'll be able to submit all year next year, right?
No. Well, you got to follow our
Yeah, they'll-
socials. We
Yeah.
announce. They usually open in October.
Nice.
Just November. maybe December. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I guess
I'm
that
not
would be a
tired.
lot for
I
you to
think it
go
was
through.
November.
November, and closed in March.
So you
Well,
got
still.
like months
Yeah.
to submit.
But we listen to everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
every
Everything.
single track.
Every single track. A bunch of us do.
Oh wow. Is it like a writing room thing? You guys sit in a room and just listen to it and decide like,
Well, it's a mix, right? You know, we're trying to, we like to try to make opportunity. It depends on what kind of headliners we book. Like it's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if sometimes we like love a band. So if you applied last year and you didn't get in, do it
Apply
again. Because
Yeah.
it just might have not have fit that we couldn't find a showcase for you. So we
like you're trying
still
to fit
like
in
you.
like vaporwave or whatever you got, like a synthwave bands with
Vaporwave, I love it.
Yeah, synthwave bands with other synthwave bands, and like sometimes those
Yeah.
spots get filled up, right? And like a hardcore band gets left out.
Yeah.
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 Because
And
we had like over 90 bands last year, right?
yeah, 90 bands.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
90.
It's
Yeah.
a big puzzle.
Yeah.
Big puzzle.
That would actually be. I don't know if it would be fun or just like really just agonizing
For
to put that
3/4,
together.
I hate of making a puzzle. Like I had to do one after my sister's surgery. We just puzzled.
Yeah. You hate it
That's why. Well, I did. I just was like,
until the last piece.
and then I couldn't leave the table because
Yeah.
you're like, I'm gonna get it. I'm
Just
just get
committed.
you. Get you in there.
That's some expert puzzle making advice, So Purple City, can you like dispel this rumor for me? There used to be this light at the legislature,
Still there.
and you would put your face to it and look into it for a while, and then until it like fucked your retinas up, and then you would like look at the city, and the city would look purple. And is this how the festival got its name?
Well, yeah. So
Oh, okay.
I actually that is sort of it. And we're
Nice.
not the only. Well, maybe this was like
I know a guy who
kismet
owned
moment.
a Purple City hemp shop. So,
Once I wrote a play about Purple City because I thought it was from Winnipeg.
oh, okay.
And there's like a rumor that the golden boy on top of the legislator was castrated one year. So that was like the central theme of my play.
Oh, okay.
It's like
Nice.
when you and actually the theme was like, trying to like look at other people and should I be like them, right? Mm-hmm. So
So it's all
anyway.
about conformity.
Yeah,
and
but
castration.
But like, we all can have something in common. So when you look at the lights and everything's purple, you can see everything as. I mean, that's how I think of Purple City in a way. But
But
you
it's like
can,
a community thing.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what's joined us
Yeah.
together. It's awesome. I mean, you guys are doing
But
some amazing
don't
work.
go do self castration. It's not a good
I mean,
idea.
I don't think anyone's really doing that. I knew a guy in high school who gave himself his own Prince Albert.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Well, at least he claimed he did. I mean, I didn't
Whoa.
like check, but
We'll
yeah.
Wikipedia that later.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't.
So, any advice for festival goers? How do they get their wristbands? How do they? What is to do to get to go to this festival? Mm-hmm.
I recommend a wristband because even if you have never heard of any of these bands in your life, you're pretty much guaranteed to find like at least one new favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like a pretty fair price as far as festival wristbands go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the price?
Right now, 100. I think it's 125 or 130 for a weekend. You get the 3 full days.
And it gets you access to
All
the
9
shows.
venues, all the
nine
9
venues, all shows.
venues, all the shows. Later, we'll release individual tickets for certain showcases.
Mm-hmm.
So, and last year we did day passes, so we'll do that
That's
again.
good. Yeah.
But yeah, we found most people get the wristband, and the earlier you buy it, the cheaper it is.
Yeah.
Because, just kind of they go up in tiers once one tier sells out. So right now, it's a good price.
And it sounds like all the venues that you have this year are all downtown sector, right?
Yeah.
They're all within like walking distance of
Yeah.
each other and things like that. So
Lux.
transportation isn't going to be a problem from venue to venue. You can just go and get ripped at one and walk to the next.
And if you really want to make it a weekend out of it, we partner with the Chateau Lacombe. So even if you live in Edmonton, like I would totally do this if if you have the means, just book a hotel room for the weekend with you and your friends
Yeah,
or your
yeah.
partner, your family, and just like stay there and just
So
have
you-
fun and party
you
with
said
the
you
artists
partnered.
and everyone's there. Yeah, so the Chateau Lacombe Hotel is our host hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So we book off a whole floor, all the artists. That's where our artists stay. That's where we're there all weekend. And there's a discount code
Dope.
We publish for festival attendees.
Nice. That's
So
awesome.
you get a
That's huge.
cheap
That is so
room.
the way to go. What the heck?
Yeah, why would
Yeah.
you drive up from the north? Even White Ave. I live on White Ave. I stay at the hotel all weekend.
Yeah,
'cause-
man. Party
oh my
with
God,
the
it's
bands. Do your
best.
thing, man.
It's so fun.
Holy cow. So there is a question that I wanted to ask you guys.
Okay.
What is this to you?
I see a tarantula.
Tarantula.
I see. What's that movie again about the sewing and the people?
Oh, the human centipede?
Yeah. I see.
Oh, I was going to say Coraline. I'm way more innocent than that.
Oh, yeah.
You see a human centipede?
And lobster person, double lobster.
I see
lobster love.
Yeah, that's
two
good.
lobsters. You know.
For me, I'm looking in the monitors and it looks like Mickey Mouse with lots of hands.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
see
kind of like the
that.
lobster thing.
It's. I don't know how to give you guys a psych evaluation on that, but I mean, go home and just think about what you saw here today.
Okay.
And think about those colonoscopies.
Yeah, that's why I think I said human centipede.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Any last words for any people?
Any people?
Yeah, bands submit, reach out. We're fun, we're friendly. Got any questions? Our website's on there. You can contact us. And I can't wait to see you, and I can't wait to tell you. It's
gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But we're not telling you right now.
Not yet.
We haven't decided yet, so.
Well,
There's stuff in the works.
Yeah,
And
'cause
there's
you haven't
still
even went through this.
submissions.
That's why you can't tell me, because you haven't decided who's getting in.
And the submissions are open until March 2nd
Aye, nice.
at midnight.
Okay, good. That's the thing to know. Well, Rocky, Ems, thanks so much for coming on the Midnight Tonight Show.
Thanks for having us.
That's the show. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Midnight Tonight Show. If you made it all the way to the end, wow, what a show. That was crazy. We talked about a colonoscopy for like a really long time. That's fucked up. Keep your dicks on the ice and have a good one. Thanks, Edmonton.